Episode 3, January 1925, Nome, Alaska. Population just over 10,000. A diphtheria outbreak begins among the children. The disease is merciless. It creates a thick membrane in the throat that suffocates victims slowly. Without antitoxin, the death toll would be catastrophic. But Nome is isolated, icebound. The nearest serum is in Nenana, 674 miles away. Aircraft are too unreliable in the brutal winter weather. Ships can't break through the ice. There's only one option: dog sleds. A relay is organized. 20 teams of mushers and over 150 dogs will pass the serum from team to team across Alaska's most dangerous terrain. When the call goes out, everyone knows who should run the longest, most treacherous leg: Leonhard Seppala and his lead dog, Togo. Togo was 12 years old, ancient for a sled dog, but he was a legend. Born small and sickly with a painful throat condition, Seppala initially gave him away for adoption. Togo escaped by jumping through a window and tracked Seppala's team for miles. As a puppy on his first run, when Seppala harnessed him just to keep him quiet, Togo ran 75 miles, unheard of for an inexperienced young dog. By 8 months old, he was lead dog. He stayed there for 7 years. On January 29th, as a massive blizzard descended, Seppala and his 20 dogs, with Togo at the head, set out from Nome into the teeth of the storm. They had to cross Norton Sound, 20 miles of frozen ocean where the ice could crack and open at any moment. Historian David Marks describes what happened. Seppala couldn't see the trail. He couldn't see his own dogs at times. He put his faith in Togo. The ice began to break. A crack opened, separating them from shore. Togo, sensing the danger before Seppala, led the team to jump an ice floe, swimming through freezing water while pulling the sled. Then they climbed Little McKinley Mountain, 5,000 feet in the middle of the blizzard. They ran through conditions that should have killed them. Togo covered 261 miles, more than any other dog in the relay. At Golovin, Seppala passed the serum to Charlie Olson, who passed it to Gunnar Kassin. Kassin's lead dogs were Fox and Balto. Balto was one of Seppala's dogs, but Seppala had never considered him good enough for racing. He used Balto for freight hauling. Kassin disagreed and put him in front. On the final 55-mile leg to Nome, Kassin faced his own nightmare conditions. He later told reporters, "I couldn't see the trail. I couldn't even see my dogs. I gave Balto his head and trusted him." On February 2nd, at 5:30 in the morning, Kassin pulled into Nome's dark streets. The serum arrived. The epidemic was contained. At least 5 people had died. Countless Alaska natives died but went unrecorded. But Nome was saved. What happened next reveals something uncomfortable about human nature. The story that caught fire across America, spreading through the new medium of radio and splashed across newspaper headlines, focused almost entirely on Balto and the final leg. A statue of Balto was erected in New York's Central Park by December of that same year. Kassin toured the country with Balto as a celebrity. Back in Alaska, Seppala read the coverage in disbelief. He stated in his memoir, "I resented the statue to Balto, for if any dog deserved special mention, it was Togo. It was almost more than I could bear when the newspaper dog Balto received a statue for his glorious achievements." The controversy continues today. Mushers debate whether Balto even led Kassin's team for most of the run. It's unclear from the records. What's undeniable is that Togo ran the longest, most dangerous leg through the worst conditions, while Balto ran the shortest leg but happened to cross the finish line when photographers were ready. It was too complicated to showcase 20 drivers and 150 dogs. The relay concept wasn't as exciting as Balto crossed the finish line. The story needed a hero it could photograph. In 2011, Time magazine attempted to correct the record, naming Togo the most heroic animal of all time. In 2019, Disney finally released Togo, a film telling the dog's story. But for 94 years, most people knew only Balto's name. What this reveals is both heartbreaking and instructively human. We want simple stories with clear heroes, even when the truth is far more complex. Every dog in that relay deserves recognition. The Alaska native mushers, who covered 2/3 of the distance, were largely ignored by the media. Edgar Calland, one of them, summed it up. It was just an everyday occurrence as far as we were concerned. But here's what matters. The Serum Run proved what the Chukchi had known for 3,000 years. The Siberian Husky is not just a beautiful dog, it's a miracle of selective breeding, capable of feats that seem physically impossible, driven by intelligence and determination most people will never fully comprehend. Today, mounted at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, Balto stands frozen in time. At the Iditarod Museum in Wasilla, Alaska, Togo watches over the modern mushers who run the Iditarod Trail sled dog race each March, following parts of the same route used in 1925. Both dogs receive the recognition they deserve, together. So, who is the Siberian Husky in modern times? Here's where the story becomes complicated, even painful. The Serum Run, Balto's statue, movies, and media attention created a breed that became iconic. Those piercing eyes, that wolf-like beauty, that aura of wildness. People fell in love. And that's when the problems began.